Nathan stood in front of his mirror, staring at his reflection with a frown. His shoulders slumped as he scrolled through his phone, seeing pictures of his former classmates. One had just bought a luxury car, another had launched a successful business, and yet another was vacationing in the Maldives. Meanwhile, Nathan was still stuck in the same small apartment, working a job he didn't love and barely making ends meet. "Why am I so behind?" he whispered to himself. That question haunted him. Every morning, he woke up feeling inadequate, and every night, he went to bed drowning in self-doubt. His mind was a battlefield, constantly comparing himself to others, believing that he was a failure simply because he wasn't where they were. But what if the mirror was lying? What if his reflection wasn't the full truth? Nathan had always been a dreamer. As a child, he wanted to be an artist, sketching beautiful landscapes and designing characters for his own comics. But somewhere along the way, society's expectations had shaped his decisions. He pursued a practical degree, took a stable job, and buried his dreams under the weight of financial responsibilities. His best friend, Leo, had taken a different path. He dropped out of college and started an online business. At first, everyone thought Leo was reckless, but years later, he was thriving, posting pictures of his success on social media, traveling to exotic locations, and sharing motivational quotes about chasing dreams. Nathan couldn't help but compare. Maybe if I had taken more risks, I'd be successful too, he thought. But what Nathan didn't see were the sleepless nights Leo endured, the years of uncertainty, and the failures he had faced before finding his breakthrough. All Nathan saw was the end result, the highlight reel of someone else's life. He wasn't the only one caught in this race. His co-worker, Emily, always seemed to be in a hurry. She compared her salary, promotions, and even her fitness routine with others. She never felt like she was enough. One evening, she told Nathan, "Do you ever feel like life is just a race you can never win?" Nathan sighed. All the time. That night, he realized something. It wasn't just him. Everyone was trapped in this never-ending race of comparison. But why? Nathan decided to take a break from social media. He deleted Instagram and Facebook from his phone, determined to stop measuring his life against others. At first, it was difficult. He felt disconnected. But as the days passed, something changed. He felt lighter, more focused on himself rather than others. Then, one evening, he ran into Leo at a cafe. "Hey man, haven't seen you online lately," Leo said, sipping his coffee. "Yeah, I took a break. I was tired of feeling like a failure every time I scrolled through my feed." Leo chuckled. "You think I have it all figured out?" Nathan raised an eyebrow. "Don't you?" Leo leaned in. "What you see online is only half the story. I post my wins, not my struggles. Last year my business almost collapsed. I was drowning in debt. But I didn't share that part because, well, who wants to see that?" Nathan was speechless. Leo continued, "You're comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. It's not real, man." That night, Nathan thought deeply about Leo's words. Social media had made him believe that everyone else was ahead of him. But the truth was, no one shared their failures. Everyone was struggling in ways that weren't visible. A few weeks later, Nathan attended a high school reunion. He wasn't particularly excited about it, but curiosity pulled him in. There, he saw Olivia, one of the top students from his class. She had always been the definition of perfection, top grades, multiple talents, and a bright future ahead. "You must be doing amazing things now," Nathan said, expecting to hear a success story. Olivia smiled, but there was something tired in her eyes. "Not really. I burned out after college. I spent years chasing an ideal, trying to meet expectations that weren't even mine. I ended up in a high-paying job, but it drained me completely. So I quit." Nathan was shocked. "You quit? But you were always ahead of everyone." She sighed. "That's the problem, Nathan. I was always running, but I never stopped to ask myself if I was running in the right direction." Her words hit him hard. Had he been doing the same? One evening, Nathan visited his grandfather, an old watchmaker who had spent decades repairing intricate timepieces. "Grandpa, why do I feel like I'm behind everyone?" Nathan asked. His grandfather picked up two watches from his workbench. One was a luxurious, expensive watch, and the other was a simple, old-fashioned one. "Both of these tell time," the old man said, "but if I try to measure them by the same standards, one will always seem better than the other. The truth is, each was designed for a different purpose." Nathan furrowed his brows. "What does that have to do with me?" "You, my boy, are like this watch," he said, holding up the simpler one. "You have your own rhythm, your own journey. If you keep comparing yourself to someone who is built for a different path, you'll always feel like you're failing. But if you embrace your own timing, you'll see that you're exactly where you need to be." For the first time in years, something clicked in Nathan's heart. Nathan went home that night and opened an old sketchbook. It had been years since he had drawn anything, but as soon as the pencil touched the paper, he felt alive. He decided to start small, drawing for himself, sharing his art online without worrying about numbers or validation. Slowly, he realized that happiness didn't come from matching someone else's success, but from doing what truly fulfilled him. Months later, his sketches caught the attention of an indie publisher who offered him a chance to illustrate a children's book. It wasn't a $1 million deal, but it was a step in the right direction, his direction, and for the first time, Nathan stopped looking at others and started focusing on his own journey. The world will always be full of people who seem ahead of you, but success isn't a race, it's a personal journey. You are not late, you are not behind, you are on your own unique timeline, with your own battles, victories, and lessons. So stop comparing yourself to others. Instead, focus on becoming the best version of yourself, because in the end, that's the only comparison that truly matters.